Hey everyone, it's Book Crazy Katie, and today's video is my Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone chapters 8 through 11 reactions, and please find me on social media at the following. Hey everybody, it's Book Crazy Katie, and today's video is my Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone chapters 8 through 11 reactions. And as I said in the previous video, I've already finished the book over a week ago, maybe almost 2 weeks now. I think it's been a week. And so things might be a little fuzzy, but we'll go over. I have my notes and I looked over them beforehand, so hopefully I'm not looking down too much. But yay, Harry Potter, chapters 8 through 11. So this section I feel is when the kids really start to suspect Snape as being the evildoer and after what he's not supposed to be, and I believe it's also around the time that they might have discovered in the last section what's being, that there's something being guarded by the three-headed dog, or Fluffy. And so somehow I managed to skip notes for a whole entire chapter, and I'm not sure what happened. I probably read it while at work or something and forgot to come back and write notes. Or I just got really into the book and just forgot to take the notes down. But for chapter, actually maybe I forgot for 2 chapters. Do I have chapter 8? Okay. So chapter 8, which is titled The Potions Master. Alright, so I just looked over my notes just to refresh my mind. And so in chapter 8, Harry ends up getting invited by his owl to... His owl gives them a message from Hagrid inviting them to tea, and then Ron and him end up going to tea with Hagrid, and Hagrid kind of doesn't want to talk about certain things and is just hiding certain information from him, and this is a theme throughout the book. Hagrid doesn't want to, is trying to keep certain things secret that are not for Harry to know, but then he accidentally ends up revealing details, and this seems to be one of Hagrid's personality flaws, is he just accidentally says things. He's so sweet and nice, and I think that, he says something and he doesn't realize until it's too late, or maybe just flat out doesn't realize that he gave information away that he shouldn't have. And, but Snape doesn't like Harry Potter, and it's not really clear why, and it's just kind of why doesn't he like him, and why does he pick on Harry? And so, pretty much Professor Snape singles out Harry Potter in class, and Harry ends up getting blamed because Neville, I think it was Neville that made a mistake, and Harry was supposed to have stopped him from doing it, but Harry isn't really responsible for that. So Gryffindor lost quite a few points during class with Snape because he just, on the first day of classes, because Snape just singled him out and tore him a new one. And then Harry finds out from Ron, I believe it was, that Gringotts got broken into, and they tried to steal what Hagrid and Harry had picked up from Vault 713 or 712, whatever number it is, because I'm going to mess it up forever. And so they tried the person tried to steal that, and it's really unclear. We just know that they didn't get what they were after. And then there's some professors that are mentioned in chapters 8, but I feel like the only one that really was of use in this one was Professor McGonagall. You know that she's strict and clever, and she teaches transfiguration. And then the other ones that are mentioned are Professor Sprout, the herbology professor, Professor Binns, who taught history of magic, and I believe is a ghost, if my notes are clear, and Professor Flitwick taught charms. And then chapter 9 is the Midnight Duel, and I believe they all either got caught, or Malfoy got caught, or maybe they all almost got caught being outside of bed, but Hermione tries to stop Ron and Harry from following through. Something happened where Draco and Malfoy end up challenging for a duel, and I can't remember if it had something to do with Neville, because there's a few times where Harry tries to protect Neville, and like, I don't know if this is the scene leading up to the duel, was when Malfoy stole the room umbrella from Neville, but I think this is before it, because I think the next chapter is when they're like learning how to use their broomsticks. But I kind of got a little let down because the duel didn't happen, which, you know, I kind of figured probably wasn't going to be the case, because if I remember correctly, the duel was like to the life or pretty close to it or something. But it didn't happen, and I can't remember exactly why it stopped. My brain just doesn't remember. I don't know if I put why it didn't either. And once again, by the end of chapter 9, I was still feeling like there were too many like characters and having a hard time grasping it. And I know like by the time I finished the book, I was okay. I still didn't know what the point of some of the characters were, but I was okay. I knew I knew who the main and like secondary characters were for the most part, at least as far as the first book's concerned. And run away, coast it. It's windy. It's a little chilly too, but it's okay. Oh, and I also thought there was a lot of places at the same time, so for me, trying to remember different spots of Hogwarts or something, I think was getting a little confusing at this point, but not too bad. And then this chapter, so chapter 9 is the chapter where, chapter 9 is titled, what is it? The Midnight Duel. I think I might have said that already. But chapter 9 is when Harry retrieves the Remembrall from Draco, and they find out that he has a natural propensity or talent for flying broomstick, and McGonagall catches him but not Draco. They weren't supposed to be flying, and they were told that they'd be expelled if anyone's brooms moved. And of course, Draco was a jerk and stole Neville's Remembrall and then told Harry to come catch him if he wanted to retrieve it. And so McGonagall comes back and finds Harry had been flying, and some of the other students in Gryffindor tried to save him, but McGonagall didn't want to hear it and took Harry Potter to the office, and then instead of him getting in trouble, he got to be part of the Quidditch team, and then they told him that they were going to get him a broomstick, which was the, why can't I think of what it's called? It's that really popular one, but like the newest in, I can't think of the broom name. But, and then the chapter after that is Halloween, which there's a big old Halloween ball, and they're in, Professor Quirrell runs in talking about there being a troll, and yelling that there's a Quirrell, or a Quirrell, yeah. Professor Quirrell runs in screaming that there's a troll in the building, and at first everybody kind of takes it and doesn't like really thinks it's part of the atmosphere that was created for the Halloween ball thing and or Halloween party, and they don't really do it. And then Dumbledore tells everyone to be quiet, and then they're told to evacuate the building. And leading up to go into the Halloween bash, Ron and Harry had been talking, and since Hermione had been all like into getting them in trouble and trying to like talk them out, and it was always bossy and telling them not to do that and serious and all this stuff, Ron was really annoyed by Hermione and didn't really enjoy her company or anything about that, and he was talking about her, and Hermione overheard what like Harry and Ron were talking about, and Ron like didn't feel guilty or anything, and was like, she should blah blah blah. And so when they're about to exit because the troll is on premises, Ron and Harry realize that Hermione had ran to the bathroom and she probably doesn't know about the troll, so they go to find her. And the three of them together end up defeating the troll. And it was really a lot of blind luck. Harry's wand went into the troll's nose, and Ron performed some kind of spell, and I think it was a spell that like they were having issues with in a class, if I remember correctly, but that might have been a different point in the book. And so from that, and then like Harry and Ron almost got in trouble, and Hermione ended up telling a lie, and from that moment on, the three of them became pretty close friends, and they no longer resented Hermione. And that's probably around the point I actually started liking Hermione's character in the book, and I'm looking forward to see what kind of growth happens in later chapters. And then chapter 11 is the Quidditch chapter, and in that chapter, Harry is playing his first game of Quidditch, and his team ends up winning, but there were some setbacks, and the setbacks weren't anything of Harry's doing. It was because somebody was trying to curse him and trying to kill him at the same time, and we don't know why. Like, we just know things are going terribly wrong and something is happening because he has no control of his broom. Ron and Hermione spot Professor Snape across the way, chanting and constantly chanting, and so Hermione goes and sets Snape's robes on fire, and Harry Potter is saved, and it allowed him and the Gryffindor team to win the game of Quidditch. And so, like I said, so far I was enjoying the book. I felt like the pacing was pretty good. I was getting into the characters. Like I said, I instantly loved the Weasleys, like all of them. And Ron's pretty awesome. And then Harry's alright, and I'm interested in him. And, you know, sometimes, like, sometimes I feel like Harry Potter, like, I'm glad he stands up for himself and for others, but sometimes he needs to not take the bait because it seems like he always takes the bait. And then Hermione started seeing like the cooler side of her, where she could loosen up a little bit and not just be absolutely into the rules, and started to realize that maybe not all professors are, you know, fantastic, because like at the beginning of the book, the way Hermione speaks, like the professors can do no wrong, and you kind of start to see that she starts to question them some when they need to be questioned. So I hope you guys are enjoying Harry Potter. I'm sure you are. Most people seem to really enjoy the book that have read it. I definitely am. And I hope to see you. Oh yeah, and so the troll and some of the things in these 3 or 4 chapters, I watched the movie like the day after I finished reading the book. Some of the things in these 4 chapters got changed pretty drastically in the movie, and I also felt like a lot of things that Draco did in the book were cut out of the movie, so like that instant dislike, or like that dislike between Harry and Draco, I don't think made as much sense in the movie as it did the book, because there's a lot more that builds up to their like frenemy situation, or not even frenemy, they're just enemy. I feel like they might be frenemies in the future though. But of course I was wondering why like Draco is the way he is, and I don't think it really gets answered in this book, but I've heard that it gets answered later in the series, both from my boyfriend who's only watched the movies and from a friend that has read the books and watched the movies. So I'm curious to see about that. So if you enjoyed this video and you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and if you like my video, please press the like and the thumbs up button. And if you'd like to receive notifications in the future, hit that bell icon, ding ding ding, and I hope to see you guys later. Bye! Hit the bell icon!